Hi ladies, I finalized my divorce 2.5 years ago and I learned a lot. With hindsight 2020 vision, I have a plethora of tips. But for now, I'd like to share with you my top 4 tips on how to divorce effectively. The first tip of advice that I received from my lawyer was to control the psychology of the divorce. Your divorce should not be viewed as a battleground. Sure, there'll be times where things will be adversarial with your soon-to-be ex. However, it's really imperative that you let your soon-to-be ex know that your intention is to be as fair as possible and you do not view this as a competition in any way. The less inflamed the divorce proceedings are, the more peaceful and less dramatic things will be. In addition, things won't be as costly because you won't be bickering over the small things. There'll be less in legal fees, less fighting, and hopefully just a quicker divorce timeline. My second tip on how to divorce effectively is to lay out your goals for the divorce. What characteristics do you want to embody while going through a divorce? For instance, do you want to maintain a sense of calmness, balance, or resilience? If so, what activities help you become more centered? When thinking about the goals of your divorce, also think about and write down what are you negotiable on and what are you non-negotiable on in terms of this divorce. So, for example, I was negotiable on who would get the house and who would provide medical insurance to the children. What I was non-negotiable on was giving up primary custody of the children. Just know that you need to have a flexibility mindset going into the divorce proceedings. You may not get exactly what you want, but just know that you need to have some kind of a direction in terms of what you would like, but it won't be exactly the way you want it to be, and that's okay. My third tip for how to divorce effectively is to manage your lawyer closely. When I initially went in and started meeting up with various lawyers as I was interviewing to figure out which lawyer I preferred, I had a major inferiority complex. For whatever reason, I thought lawyers were just smarter than me. But just know this, don't carry that rhetoric in your head because it's not true. While they may know a little bit more about family law than you, I can assure you that they are not smarter nor more organized than you are. If you take good notes and stay on top of the milestones towards your divorce, you will do just fine with your lawyer. It's important that you show your lawyer that you are organized and that you are intentional with this divorce. So show up with your laptop or your computer and make sure that you've got questions already prepared. Before every single meeting, have at least 5 questions that you want answered from your lawyer. Be sure that you manage their time and keep tabs of the invoices. After every single invoice, review every single line item and you'll quickly see that they charge you for every little thing. Lawyers have a minimum hourly rate or a minimum incremental time that they'll charge you. So for example, my lawyer, her minimum incremental rate that she would charge me was at 15 minutes. So if I sent her an email and it only took her 1 minute to reply, she would charge me for 15 minutes of her time. And believe me, your lawyer will charge you for that time and it will add up. So be smart, right? So instead of sending a 1-question email, maybe you bulk up the questions and you meet with your lawyer for half an hour instead. So just take note that every email, every text, every phone call, you are being charged, and stay close to the number of hours that you're using in terms of your lawyer. Another tip to show your lawyer that you're really on top of the divorce proceedings is to sit down with them and say, hey, I was reviewing this invoice and I realized that I was getting charged for this or that, or it doesn't make sense. Don't hesitate to ask questions about your invoice because this will send a clear message to your lawyer that, hey, I'm on top of it. I'm watching every little thing and let's stay focused. Also, another thing that you'll find sometimes with lawyers is that they may try to polarize you and to be a little bit more angry or emotional or sad when it comes to your soon-to-be ex. Don't get polarized. The more polarized that you get, the longer your legal case, your divorce case will take. At the end of the day, this is a business for lawyers, right? They want to make as much money as they can as possible. So don't fall susceptible to trying to prolong this divorce or trying to get polarized. Sometimes lawyers will do that and you don't want that. So stay on top of it. My 4th tip in terms of how to divorce effectively is to manage your mental health. I can't explain how important it is to be able to manage your mental health. It is an intentional thing. And it should be such a priority for you. Do not leave it to the whims of society and temptation. You have to take grip over it. Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "A genius is the man who can do the average thing when everyone else around him is losing his mind." It's so easy for somebody to lose their mind, especially when going through a divorce. So you have to be on top of it. You have to be intentional with your activities and what you feed your mind. You don't have to do anything drastic to maintain your mental health. Some key tips that I learned from some of my favorite mental health experts, such as Eckhart Tolle, who is a meditation expert, or Andrew Huberman, who is a neuroscientist at Stanford, and various Buddhist and Zen teachings. So I'm going to go through a list now of things that I like to do to ensure my mental health. 1, you must expose yourself to sunlight every single day for at least 15 minutes. 2, go for a walk, also outside every day for 30 minutes. There's something about being in the sun, being in nature that really helps the mind. Number 3, learn to meditate. I meditate every single day for 15 minutes. It isn't always perfect. Go into it with grace. Don't judge yourself for whether you meditated effectively or not, or if there was just too many thoughts in your head. The goal is not to have no thoughts in your head. The goal is to be silent and present with your mind and to be able to be a witness to those thoughts coming and going. A couple of my favorite apps that I like to use to help guide me during meditation are Headspace and Insight Timer. So check them out. They have helped me learn so much about the world of meditation. I highly recommend that you download these apps and take your try in terms of meditation. If you're lucky enough to have 1 or 2 positive friends in your life, really seek out to them and tell them that you're going through this hard time and that you're going to really need their help, especially during the first month or 2 of your divorce. I had one of my dearest girlfriends send me a positive text message every single day for the first 30 days of my divorce proceedings. It had nothing to do with the divorce. It was just a positive text message that she would send me just to give me a little bit more perspective on life. And I can't even explain how helpful that was for me, especially when things were really difficult at the beginning of the divorce. So if you have 1 or 2 really positive friends that you can lean on, ask them if there's any way that they could send you some kind of a positive message to you every day or every other day, whatever they're able to do. So in summary, the 4 big lessons that I learned from my divorce are: 1, control the psychology of the divorce. 2, lay out your goals for the divorce, but also understand that things will not go as perfectly as planned. 3, manage your lawyer closely. Let them know that you are very intentional about this divorce and you are organized. And number 4, manage your mental health. What you're about to embark on is not going to be easy. So being on top of your mental health is something that you really need to be focused on and intentional about. If you found this video to be helpful, like the video below and subscribe to my channel, House of Women, so that you can get notified of all the new videos that I create. Thank you so much.